Have you ever asked yourself the question, like, what am I doing wrong? Like, why am I seem to be kind of just running in circles? Or why is it that I feel like I'm intelligent, yet I'm not making the kind of money that someone with my intelligence should make? Well, the reality is it isn't about your intelligence. It's about your... I'm Robert Nichols, and I flipped over $50 million worth of real estate and funded another $125 million in Harmony loans. And today I'm going to talk about the biggest mistakes folks are making when it comes to getting started as a fix and flipper or scaling their business as a fix and flipper. And I'm going to share a video interview I did with a fix and flipper who's been a GC since 1986 and just did his first flip in 2024, and what lessons he's learned along the journey so that you don't have to wait that long to apply those lessons to your business today. And I promise if you listen to this video all the way to the end, you'll be able to scale your business quickly or get started doing your first project way easier than you ever thought it could be. Now let's get into it. So I'm going to tell you the story quickly of a 23-year-old flipper I just met. His name is Marco, and Marco is doing 7 flips at once. You heard me correctly. And you're probably asking yourself, he's 23, and how is he doing 7 flips? And I can't even get one, right? A lot of folks out here, I know folks who are 33, 43, 53, they haven't even started yet, right? But it isn't too late to get started. I'm not sharing this for you to be down on yourself. I'm sharing this to let you know what's possible for you if you start applying the proper framework to your business. And so what framework is that, you're probably asking yourself? It's the framework of becoming versus doing. What do I mean when I say that? So one of the things that we've all been misprogrammed by is our educational system. If you went to school, you remember your teacher saying, study hard so you can learn the material and get good grades, right? Well, I have news for you guys. Learning is not studying hard. It's not accumulating knowledge. It's doing things to actually learn how to do things, right? Learning is doing. Learning is not knowledge accumulation. And so that's where school got it wrong. And so the folks who are out here thriving are the ones who are engaging in the work, taking in material, absorbing information, and then taking action and doing things so that they can test and prove, see if the things that they studied actually work in the real world. And so this is where most people get stuck, right? I think a lot of folks get satisfied. If you ever reflect on your life and think back to a time when you went to take a course, you took the course, you're feeling good about everything. You're like, oh, I get this. I know this, right? But you actually didn't learn it because you never did it. And so today is about doing. I hope that by watching this video, you start to really understand that you need to start applying everything you've learned in order to start growing and transforming your business. I have another flipper I'm working with. His name is Keith. And Keith is 33 and he's not able to find his first flip. He's like, Rob, you know, I took your course on how to find deals. I'm out here looking for deals, but none of the deals seem to work. You know, I know how to finance them. I know you can finance those deals for me, but I'm still struggling. Like, what am I doing wrong? And I said, Keith, the issue is that you're trying to do it all on your own. You're out here going on MLS. You're out here trying to find realtors to find you deals. I said, you need to get into an environment where people are successfully doing what you want to do, because that means they've already learned it. And so therefore they can start teaching you how to apply the skills that you're learning in a different way to get a different outcome. And so the next lesson I want to talk about, the next thing you need to do is change your environment, guys. When we look through history, we look in the Bible, we look at the greatest people among us over time. You know, I take a biblical character named Jacob, right? Jacob had a twin brother named Esau. He and his brother had a disagreement about who was going to be essentially the heir to their father's estate. Jacob went and got his brother's blessing. His brother didn't like it. His brother wanted to kill him. And so he took off and left to build his fortune, to build his life. And by changing his environment, he found a new mentor in his father-in-law. His father-in-law taught him how to build up his livestock, build up his wealth, build up his community and his family. And so when he came back and he and his brother met, they were equals. They both had built fortunes, right? But he had to leave the environment he was in order to become someone different, to have more than he would have had he stayed there fighting for his brother over the limited resources kind of in the region they were in. And so I share this with you guys because while it was something that happened thousands of years ago, it is still very applicable today to your business when it comes to you learning the game and actually doing things that will help you make that transition into building wealth and building the legacy that you desire to have. Have you ever asked yourself the question, like, what am I doing wrong? like, why am I seem to be kind of just running in circles? Or why is it that I feel like I'm intelligent, yet I'm not making the kind of money that someone with my intelligence should make? Well, the reality is it isn't about your intelligence. It's about your skill set. And most importantly, it's about you transitioning and becoming the type of person who can have the lifestyle that you want. So what does that mean, right? Becoming. I love to use the analogy of an apple tree. If you look at an apple tree and the fact that it can produce apples, right? Or any fruit tree for that matter, what does it do to produce the fruit? Does it hustle? Does it grind? Does it burn itself into the ground and struggle to produce apples? No, it does not. The apples it produces are a function of the apple tree being an apple tree, right? And so the same comes to us and applies to us when we look at our lives and we look at the fruits of our work. Is it in line with what we want? If it isn't, we have to change the framework we're working from. We have to change the environment we're in to become the type of person who can put in the input to get the output that we want in our lives. So with that said, guys, I hope this helps you on your journey. I want to introduce Brian McElligott. I was able to help Brian get started as a flipper. As I said, he was a GC since 1986. It took him many years to get started. And again, I think the lesson for him is it's never too late to be great, right? And so even if you're 33, 43, 53, 63, or even in your 70s, if you are committed to being successful and getting started in this real estate business, don't wait. Do it today. You know, I've helped people in their 20s. I've helped people in their 50s and 60s get started. And so no matter where you are on that spectrum, forget about the past and understand that today's your day to take control of your destiny. And I hope that Brian's story inspires you to keep going or to get started or to scale as he shares the lessons he's learned in getting his first new construction project, funding his first new construction project, managing the construction, and how we're going to help him exit this project for a massive profit. So I hope you guys enjoy this interview. Please leave any questions you have about getting started below. And I'm super excited to continue to share my journey and share the lessons I've learned to help you as you're looking to get into the game. Now let's get into it. I'm Robert Nichols, and today I'm here with Brian McElligott. He's a real estate developer and general contractor, and we're here in this amazing project. It's a single family in Rosendale. How you doing today, Brian?
I'm doing good.
Excellent, man. Yeah. So Brian, tell us a little bit about your story. How did you get into real estate and construction?
I've been here since in Boston area since 1986.
86, man. Nice, man. Where'd you come from?
I came from Ireland.
Love it.
So I've been in construction since I came here. I worked for a good-sized house developer up in North Reading when I came here first, building out several different types of properties. And that's how I ended up getting into it originally.
Excellent. Now, you working for that developer in North Reading, Brian, do you think that was like a mentorship experience where you really learned the ropes, you kind of learned the culture here and got ingrained and were able to get started that way?
It showed me a lot of do's and don'ts.
There you go, man. Especially the don'ts, right? A lot of folks want to jump into this and see all the money, but there's a pathway you have to take in order to do it right and do it well to avoid those mistakes, right?
And it's good to have the construction experience. It saves a lot of mistakes, and you know how you build stuff. We're really building to family-oriented projects.
I love it, man. When did you decide you wanted to be your own boss?
I've decided that a long time ago. So
in '86 you were here. You already wanted to. So initially you came. You worked for someone. How long did you work for them?
I worked for Cunningham Construction for 3 years.
Oh wow, that was fast.
And then I was running work and being a foreman, and went from there. And then I started out doing projects on my own.
Love it, man. So you did the projects on your own for others, and then when did you start jumping into development? Is this your first development project?
It's my first development project on my own, yes.
I love it, man. What do you think so far of the experience?
It's good. You have to really think about the end user and think about
I love that.
The homeowner and what they want, and build a nice home for them.
Yep, I love it. Let's talk about how you found this project. Then we're going to talk about the development process. So how did you find this project?
I've been looking for about a year and a half to come across a good deal. So I put some feelers out, and then I got talking to Rob and some other people about my process, what I wanted to do.
I love it, man. And so this one we were able to source through a wholesaler.
Yeah.
The house was in terrible condition, as you would imagine. And it's one of those situations, you hear it all the time, but you always want to find the worst house on the street on one of the best blocks. And that's exactly what happened here.
Yes.
Yeah.
This is a good neighborhood, good family neighborhood. Location.
Yep. No, it checks all the boxes on that front.
Yep.
So let's talk about this house, Brian. So originally this was like a 1,300 square foot, tiny little house. I got some footage I'm going to put in the video to show the befores so we can appreciate where we are now mid-construction and the afters at some point. But what did you do here? Like, so talk about what it was, what it is now, the bedrooms, the baths, and really the thought that you put into creating a home for the next end user.
So really, when I looked at the house originally, the house sets up on the first floor, about 5 feet above the grade. So I said, we can make good use of that basement. That's what I was thinking about originally when I came here. And then how I could increase the third floor to put in 2 dormers and really increase the living space up above. And it was always in my head that I was going to do some living quarters in the basement. Since the day I walked in here, that's what I felt about doing. So, and that's what we ended up doing. So it's a 4 bedrooms upstairs, and then it's going to be 2 beds downstairs whenever we close it out.
I love it, man. No, so with that said, right, one of the coolest things I love about this house, Brian, is when you maximize the footprint. So you went from having a 1,300 square foot house above grade to about a 3,600 square foot house above grade, right? So that was awesome. And then you added the ability to have an ADU unit, so accessory dwelling unit, which instantly increased the equity here by about $400,000. And there's not a lot of developers who have that foresight. So I give you credit for thinking ahead. And as you started thinking about that, was it hard to kind of navigate that process with the city and figuring out how to finish the living space in the basement, or it was by right, you could just do it?
There was some things that we ran into. We couldn't just go take down the house, and we had to work within certain parameters. There was no foundation under the front, there was no foundation on the back. We really didn't extend the footprint of the existing foundation because there was just no foundation under the structures that were there.
Right, crazy.
So that allowed us to get creative on that manner. We were able to make the basement bigger because of that reason.
Talk a little about, Brian, about the biggest challenge you faced making the leap from being a GC to being a developer doing your own project.
The financial side of it is a big challenge, you know what I mean, because being a builder, I do a lot of design built in the past, so we try to put more into it than the regular person, I guess, and it ends up costing us more. But I will not build something unless I build it right. That's just the way I am, and that's it.
I love it, and it shows on this project for sure. What advice would you give to general contractors out there or folks just starting out who want to jump in and do a new construction, new build like this? What advice would you give to them getting into the game?
Always leave a good product after you. Very simple.
I like that.
Yeah.
What was the biggest challenge with this particular project?
It's the way we had to do it because of the structure. We had to really hold the existing house up on stilts while we done it, so it wasn't easy. A lot of structural work and then we opened up the walls and there was a lot of rot and all that, so we ended up, this is actually pretty much a new build when it's all said and done.
So let me ask you this, Brian. What was the purchase price of the property?
The purchase price was $475.
Yep. And how much did you spend on the construction?
I'm going to be into it for $650 by the time I'm all said and done.
Nice, man. So $650, $475, so like $1,125 or something like that.
Yes.
And then the sellout, we talked about 1.6, but I got a surprise, man. I think we can get 1.7.
Yeah.
What do you think?
I think
Can we do it?
I need every penny. But
We can do it. We can do the 1.7, man. We got this. We got this. Good stuff, man.
Thank you.
Awesome, man. So anything else you want to add before we open it up to questions? Any advice you want to give the folks out there, maybe watching this, general contractors, tradesmen who are thinking about getting into real estate?
I would say just, build your product for the end user.
Yep.
And be thinking of the end user through the whole process.
Excellent. Good stuff, man. Thanks, Brian. That's a wrap, Brian. Appreciate you sharing, man. I'm excited to showcase this property. The address is 34 Rosecliff Street in Rosendale, Massachusetts. It is a 4,500 square foot single family, biggest house on the block, most beautiful home on the block. So if you're in the market for a home or you're a realtor looking for your buyers, hit me up. We can get you in now. This is going to be a pre-construction listing, or excuse me, mid-construction listing at this point, because as you can see, we're about halfway through the project and anticipate having this thing done in the next 3 months. So hit me up. I think we're going to definitely target about a 1.7 price. But again, you've got 4 levels of living, great living for the in-laws downstairs, right, Brian?
Yes.
Or if your kids, adult children, teenagers want to have their own apartment here, or you can make it a legal ADU unit and rent it and make at least $2,500 to $2,700 a month in additional rental income and still have 3 amazing floors of living space. So Brian, great job on this project, man. I can't wait to showcase the finished project and appreciate you letting us be a part of the journey.
Thank you.
Good stuff, man.